We have a tradition in the black community in Britain. When there is a film or a series pertaining to our community, we phone around and we talk about it and just let each other know that it's on, and we'll be sitting down in anticipation to watch something that depicts us on the television. So, Lovers Rock came on yesterday. Okay. And, first of all, when it started, it seemed to be on point. Yeah. Depicting us, back in the day. Yeah. When we would go to those blueses. Yeah. And there was sense of community. And we'd be enjoying our music and be eating our food. You know what I mean? And we'd be dancing to them tunes. But you see something? The flaw of that production was that the director had a disconnect to the community. It doesn't seem that there was any research done. Yeah? It seemed to be all over the place and there wasn't really a storyline. It was like somebody's fantasy of Lovers Rock instead of the real reality of the situation. You know what I mean? It was a Lovers Rock. Listening to Lovers Rock wasn't just about a sex orgy. Do you know what I mean? And I've never been to a dance, right? Or gone to somebody's house party in a dance and seen people dress up and dance on the dirty floor, man take up carpet and people have on their good clothes, yeah? And a Rasta man's gonna be on the dance floor wiping his dread on the nasty floor. And then you can have all these different scenes of men trying to get into the toilet with a woman, yeah? And some man raping a woman and it ending up with her kissing a woman upstairs in our bed. I mean, like, what was that all about? And when City Games is playing, yes, it's a good tune, yeah? Alright? I remember when that tune come out and people loved that tune, yes? There's a whole heap of different tunes, just as good or even better. But I'm not putting down City Games because it's a classic in its own right. But really and truly, I never been in a dance and then take off the music and people are sing for such a long time. You know something? I even caught myself looking at another video on YouTube while this gyration was going on. I mean, it was just like pathetic. But you know what? I think the flaw to it, there was no research. That Steve McQueen had not actually contacted anybody on the music scene to get their stories. And obviously, it's his fantasy, it's his story, but why call it Lovers Rock? Because my generation and other generations ain't died out yet completely. Do you understand? It was just weird. And I think the weirdness of it is that there's not enough black movies on the TV. There's not enough of our stories being depicted. So when one comes on, the expectation is so high. And the quality really and truly was so low. I mean, if a dance school was actually employed in doing that, contracted to do that set, at least do the research on how to do the dances. Do you understand what I mean? Like, I think it just exposes the fact that there hasn't been, the black film industry hasn't been able to develop over decades. And a man has to go all the way to America, produce a blockbuster type of thing, and then come back over here and here get a contract to put on a film that represents us. It doesn't represent us. So I think the failing of the film, or the highlight of the film, was the failure of the British film industry. Really exposed a lot. There's so many talented writers, um, directors, etc., here already, and they need to be tapped into. Really and truly, it was on the BBC, and everybody have to pay a TV license. And it's about time the TV license actually starts to represent people, right? In all the communities that are forced to pay it, because we don't pay it voluntarily, it's done by force. It's stealth. So really and truly, want to see some proper representations on the TV, right? Proper standards as well. Where was the research done for that? Yeah? Where's the proper storyline? You know? And the director's just so disconnected from the group he was supposed to represent. That is not a representation of how things happened in the late 70s or 80s, all right, and how we enjoyed ourselves at that time and the sense and the feeling of the community at the time. It was a disappointment from those who actually experienced it. It was basically a silly game.